My name is Jann Crabill, and I'm president of the library board. I would like to welcome all of you to the 20th anniversary celebration of the Huntley Area Public Library District. Tonight is the adult celebration, and every day next week will be the children's celebration. Jann Crabill worked to get the referendum passed to form our library district in 1989, and then she became one of the original 7 board members. Jann's here to tell us about those early years when the district was brand new and just getting started. Jann?
Good evening. I'd like to share with you the who, the what, the how, where, and when of the first trustees. On February 18th, 1988, the Friends Committee that was meeting in the library at the school voted to begin the Huntley Area Public Library. Karen Coley, Hazel Clemkin, Shirley Williams, Huntley Lionesses, Dan Kern, Marlene Selpin, Olive Statt, Nancy Grau, Prudy Cole, Frances Sheets, Carol Donahue, Fran Bohart were all the energetic initial group to start the library. But on November 7th, 1989, 479 yes votes established the Huntley Area Public Library. The new trustees were appointed by a judge for the first year, and the following year we were voted in as a board. First president was Chuck Ruth, treasurer Lenny Bohart, secretary myself, Hazel Clemkin, Karen Coley, Fran Sheets, and Richard Drendel made up the first board. Now the what. What do we do first? Well, we had to set up a budget, got a no tax revenue, but we still needed monies to operate on. And so we got a loan of $100,000 obtained by a mere handshake. That was back in those days. Since we were all new to this, we hired a library consultant, Robert McLaren, to help us. We applied for membership in the Northern Suburban Library System, but we still didn't have a place to meet. Where were we going to meet? We had no building. So Huntley Park District stepped up and allowed us to use their boardroom. Our patrons still needed a place for services. So we negotiated with Crystal Lake Library to use their services. Our patrons could borrow 2 books each week, but it was a start. How? How are we going to get a library space? In 1990, we purchased the Huntley Medical Center, which would give us 1,200 square feet to set up our first library. Receiving $25,000 grant enabled us to hire a 40-hour-per-week librarian. But that required a job description and interviewing. Being on the other side of the table as an interviewer was a real eye-opener, and something that you take for granted that someone else has done for years when you were getting a job. Now you were on that side of the table for someone else. On April 11th, 1991, we hired Jane C. Thompson as our head librarian and director. Once again, she needed office space while we were renovating the medical buildings. Jane's first office and planning area was temporarily in the Grafton Township offices. It was cramped. There were some diesel fuel problems. But Jane hung in there for us and worked in her little office. Books were donated by individuals and other libraries, which were stored in a warehouse until we were ready for them. Volunteers helped to process the significant collection. We also budgeted for new books, 800 children's books. That would be about 1 stack and maybe 2 shelves in our children's room today. When? when would we get to open our doors? Well, it happened on March 10th, 1992, with 10,000 volumes, interlibrary loan through the Northern Suburban Library System, programs, and story time for the children. 3 years had already passed. But now we knew we needed to continue to plan for expansion, for looking for, 3-5 acres to build on, a new building for the future. On April 1995, we received $250,000 state Live and Learn construction grant to help us finance the library expansion project to 15,000 square feet. On April 1997, a referendum passed to build our new library building on Youth Road. We were moving on up on the east side.